Namaskarah Sarvebhyah. Swagatam. Welcome back to Kathas by Shiksha Varida. In our last episode, we saw the birth of the magnificent Garuda. Today, we follow him to the gates of Swargaloka. But before he arrived, the Dewloka, heaven, began to whisper of his coming through Ashakuna, bad signs and ancient secrets. As Garuda took flight, Indra, the king of Devatas, witnessed terrifying bad signs. Meteors fell from the sky, earthquakes shook the divine palaces, and even the divine astras of the Devatas began to lose their kanti, shine. Worried, Indra approached his guru, Brahaspatyacharya. The guru revealed a hidden truth. He asked Indra, "Do you remember when you made fun the tiny Valakhilya rishis? You laughed at them because they were thumb-sized, struggling to carry a single leaf. In their krodha, anger, they performed tapas to create a new Indra, 100 times more powerful than you. It was sage Kashyapa who didn't let that happen. To protect the cosmic order, he convinced the rishis that this new Indra should not take your throne, the Indra Padavi, but instead become the Indra of the birds, Pakshi Raja. That Indra is Garuda, and today he has come for the Amrita." Garuda reached Swarga like a golden storm. Thousands of Devatas and their Sahayakas, Ganas and Swargavasis attacked him, but with a single sweep of his wings, he created a blinding Vatulaha, hurricane of dust, defeating the divine army without taking a single life. He then faced the three deadly barriers of the Amrita. First, he was blocked by a wall of roaring fire that licked the very stars. Garuda flew down to earth, swallowed the waters of many mighty rivers, and returning to the sky, he extinguished the divine flames in a single breath. Next, he faced a razor-sharp wheel of iron, spinning faster than the mind can follow, designed to cut anyone who dared pass into pieces. Showing the siddhi he learned while growing in the egg, Garuda made his body tiny. He timed the rotation perfectly and slipped through the gaps in the spinning blades unharmed. Finally, he reached the inner chamber where giant sarpas guarded the Amrita. Their eyes were filled with deadly venom that could reduce anything to ash. Garuda did not fight them with force. He kicked up a storm of dust and wind to blind them, swooped down and claimed the golden Kalasha of Amrita. As he ascended, Lord Vishnu appeared, blocking his path. Vishnu was testing Garuda. Here was Garuda, hungry and exhausted, holding the greatest prize in the universe, yet he did not take a single sip. Vishnu asked, "Why do you not drink?" Garuda replied, "This is not for me, it is for my mother's freedom." Impressed by such honesty, Vishnu offered two boons. Garuda, with lot of intelligence, asked, "I wish to be immortal without drinking the nectar, and I wish to have a place above you." Vishnu smiled and granted both. He made Garuda his Vahana, his mount, but also placed Garuda on the flag of his chariot. Thus, Garuda was literally above Vishnu, yet remained his greatest bhakta. On his descent, Indra struck Garuda with the Vajra, the thunderbolt. Garuda, knowing the Vajra was made from the bones of the great Rishi Dadichi, decided to honor the Astra. He dropped a single feather to show respect, but the Vajra Ayudha could not hurt him. Indra, amazed, asked for friendship. Garuda explained, "I seek not to steal the nectar. I must give it to the Nagas to free my mother. But Indra, you may take it back the moment I set her free." They made a pact of mutual respect. Garuda landed before the Nagas and placed the pot on a bed of kusha grass. He asked them to declare that his mother is free. They did. He asked the Nagas to take a bath before drinking Amrita. As the greedy Nagas rushed to perform their ritual bath before drinking, Indra swooped down and took the pot back to Swarga. The Nagas returned to find only the empty kusha grass. In their desperation, they licked the sharp blades of the kusha grass, hoping for a stray drop. This is why to this day, snakes have split tongues. Vinita was free, and her son had become the eternal king of all birds, Pakshi Raja. Priya Poshakas, look at the backstory of the Valakhilya Rishis. Indra's mistake was his ahankara, judging others by their size. In Montessori, we learn that the child, though small, possesses a power of mind that can change the world. The conversation between Garuda and Vishnu is a lesson in higher purpose. Garuda did not want the nectar for himself, he wanted to serve. When we raise our children with a sense of cosmic task, they don't just achieve, they contribute. They become leaders who, like Garuda, are strong enough to carry the world, but humble enough to drop a feather in respect. The Vajra moment in our lives is when we meet a challenge that tests our respect for tradition and elders. Are we raising children who only fight, or children who, like Garuda, know how to find a middle path that preserves both integrity and peace? Tonight, as you sit with your child, try a unique connection ritual we call the Amrita moment. It is a beautiful way to tap into their inner strength and celebrate the choices they made today. At Shiksha Varida, we believe these itihasas are the keys to unlocking a child's potential. Join our Shloka and Sanskrita classes to help your child internalize these Vedic values through modern pedagogical methods. Ready to give your child the wings of wisdom? Enroll today via the link below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more journeys into our real history. Let's raise children who are scientifically curious and spiritually grounded. Dhanyavadaha.